The start of the fin race. There wasn't much wind on the day I watched this race, and they were jilling around during the 5-minute period before the starting gun, getting to the best part of the line, and in the last few seconds sailing down the line. Now this chap's too early, and he has to go the wrong side of the buoy and circle round and try again. And the next chap is too early as well. They've got an observer standing on the buoy itself. You can just see him to make sure nobody touches the buoy or goes the wrong side of the line. Now they're clear and away on their first windward leg. Somebody on port tack trying to get across the fleet and having to go behind a tremendous lot of other boats. The leader of the lee end line is now crossing the starboard tack boats on port. And there's another going across. The fleet always splits into two factions, one working inshore and the other offshore. And here's the leader of the inshore group, we see him close up now, crossing the leader of the offshore group and taking the mark from him. Well, the fins were won by Paul Elfstrom, who now has 4 gold medals in a row, which is a record, except for Milo of Croton in southern Italy, who won the wrestling event in 6 consecutive Olympiads in the 6th century BC. The starboats, 26 of them. They have a lot of sail for the size of boat, which makes them very exciting. There's Russia and Portugal, Australia in the background. They're big sharpies with a fixed fin keel, a tall thin mast, and a tremendous area of sail requiring very great skill to sail them properly. Now they're starting with Bahama nearest to us, and then Roy and Jean Mitchell in the British boat, close up, Russia, Germany and Canada. Russia is the one with the blue sails. Now they're rounding the weather mark, and watch how the helmsman and crew hang right out over the side, not just sitting the boat out. Now they're running on the dead run right down through the course, and coming up to the finish. The white boat there has crossed the 2 others and has to put in a hitch before she gets to the line. But she leaves it a little too late and is pipped by one boat which could just lay the finish and came straight on. Now there was one day when it was really rough. It had blown hard all night and left a big sea running in the bay. And these pictures of stars leaping half out of water give a very fair idea of what Naples can be like when it is rough. But this was only the one day. Bahama won this race. She is leading here at the weather mark with Durward Knowles. Tacks round, the crew's out over the side again in a flash. He clears the mark, bears away, and here's Russia coming next. Well, the Russians won the series and the gold medal. Here's the big scoreboard in the main piazza with the result of the previous day's racing. The Flying Dutchman, Slotty Dawes of Great Britain, hoisting his sail. And here they are at the starting line. Shorty Trimmingham from Bermuda practicing a start at the extreme lee end of the line. But there's an awful lot of police patrol boats around, and his crew is waving them away and trying to get a bit more room. Imagine the language. Circling round, ready for the start. Rolf Mucker, who won the bronze medal. Now they're coming in, and here, right at the very lee end, is Shorty Trimmingham KB1, making a beautifully timed start. Unfortunately, he didn't hold it throughout the race. A starboat getting in the way there. Somebody on port tack trying to get astern of another starboard tack boat. Never very funny. And now they are out on the lake to windward with enough wind to get them going properly. Crossing tacks, port tack boats having to bear away a bit to clear. Italy in the lead at the first weather mark, followed by Holland and Slotty Dawes lying third. James Ramus, Slotty's crew, has come in off the trapeze as they bear away round the mark. And then, while Italy bears straight away onto the course and sets a spinnaker for the reach, Slotty goes on a closer reach, way out to windward of the course. That's him on the extreme right. And not until he's gone a long way out does he set his spinnaker. And then he's got a much broader reach, so he passed the other two before they got to the lee mark. There's David Butler from Rhodesia on the next beat with his crew well out on the flying trapeze and his full cut mainsail lifting from the backwind of the Genoa. Slotty tacking to keep his opponents covered. Having got past them on the spinnaker reaches, he must try and take their wind and hold them back on the beat to windward. And coming up to the mark at the end of the second beat. See how much time it takes that second boat to gather way after tacking. Too many tacks cost an awful lot of time. Bearing away, and now it's the dead run right down through the course for the last round. That chap looks as if he overstood a bit, the mark a bit, the one on the left. Some of the back markers rounding. The white one out there has lost almost all the way. He's going to have a job to get round at all. Now they're very much spread out. It's amazing how the Flying Dutchman did spread out in the course of the race, covering almost the whole course. And now on the last beat, Slotty still covering his opponent and coming in across the finishing line to win the race. Peter Lund of Norway won the gold medal, Hans Fock of Denmark the silver, and Rolf Mulker of Germany the bronze. Now they're on shore putting the boats away, folding up the sails, and Slotty looking at his boat and his spinnaker. And now there's a bit of a gap after the 4 days racing, and we had a long weekend for relaxation, a bit of sightseeing and fun and games.